Alright, hey guys, it's Miss Hitchcock. Today we're going to be going over complementary and supplementary angles. So, first we need to talk about how do you name angles? How do we even name angles? Well, my hint for you is to trace your pencil along the angle you want to name. And then you're going to just list the letters in the order your pencil hit them. So this example down here, this one, has many angles. So we're just going to do 3 to make sure that we really understand. But this is just a little vocab word for you. So the middle letter is called the vertex. And that will make sense in just a minute. So just hang on with me. So the first angle we're going to look at is right here. Where do we start? We started at A. And then we hit F, and now we're going to go up to D. So this angle is going to be, oh, it went away, A to F to D. So this angle is going to be called angle. Remember, this is your sign for angle. Angle A, F, D. Really simple, right? All right, let's do another one. What if I start here? And then I go here. What's this going to be called? This one. Well, I started here, so it should be CFE. Angle CFE. Alright, the last one we're going to do, let's see if you can name it by yourself. I'm going to start here, so I'm going to go here to here to here. Notice how every time I'm going through this middle angle right here. Alright, so I have angle BFC. Good. Alright, next we got some vocabulary. It looks like a lot, but I promise you probably know more than you think. So, complementary angles. Complementary angle, you have to remember that it's always going to be 2. So put it all in caps and underline it. It's always 2 angles that add up to exactly 90. And we're going to think C. Now, that makes no sense, I know, but just hang on. We're going to do this next one and then we'll explain what that means. A supplementary angle are 2. It's always going to be 2 angles that add up to exactly, well, if this adds up to 90, what do you think this might be? 180. Good. And we're going to think S. Alright, and the reason I said C and S, because look, if I draw a C, like I'm talking about a complementary angle, I can just make dotted line and add a 0. And look, it makes 90. If I draw an S and I make a dotted line here, look, it makes an 8. So that reminds me that it's 180. So remember, think S for supplementary, 180. Think C for 90, complementary. The vertex, that funky little word we just talked about. The vertex is the point in an angle. So if this is my angle, here's my vertex. If this is your angle, where's your vertex? Right there. Super simple. Alright, a right angle is an angle that measures exactly. It has to be exactly, y'all should all know this, 90 degrees. And a straight line measures exactly how much? You should know, 180. Those are just 2 words that you're going to need to know because we're going to be talking about it. And a protractor is just a tool that we use to measure angles. You can leave that as off. Alright, here's some examples. So if you're given 78 degrees, what angle will you need to make a complementary angle? Now don't forget, complementary angles are 2 angles put together to make how much? Remember, we think C, so to make 90 degrees. So I have 78 and I need to get to 90. So we're going to do what operation? We should do 90 minus 78, and that'll give us our missing angle. So we just do some simple subtraction. 10 minus 8 is 2, 12. Now, this angle 78 and this angle is 12. Will that give me 90 degrees? 78 and 12, because remember it's two angles put together that makes 90. Does 78 plus 12 give me 90? Yes, so 12 degrees. Super simple, right? Well, let's try this one. If you had an angle that measures 132 degrees, what angle would you need to make a supplementary angle? Now don't forget, supplementary means how many degrees. Now when you see supplementary, you should think S and draw your 8, and it should make 180. So we'll do 180 minus 132. You should get 48. Now does 48 plus 132, does that give me 180? Well, don't forget 180 is just a straight line. So this is 132. This is 48. Does 132 plus 48 give me 180? Yes. So your answer is 48 degrees. Don't forget your little degree sign out there, because when we talk about angles, we always deal with degrees. Two simple problems. Let's look at this one. This is something that you might see. And it's a little bit trickier, but we're going to get it. Alright, it's going to give you this picture. And it's going to say one pair of complementary angles is, and it lists all this stuff, which looks really confusing. But when you see this, I want your first step to be to measure out each angle. Now, if I'm starting here and I'm going up, if I start at 0 and I want the measure of this angle right here, what does that land on? Well, if you look really close, it's 50, 51, 52. This measures 53 degrees. Alright, so this angle right here is 53 degrees. Now this one, NXP, measures how much? Well, look, you go from 53 was right here, to 80, 81, 82, 83 right here. I need to know how much is in between here and here. Well, you know that 83 minus 53 is going to give you this distance, right? Well, 83 minus 53, you should know, is 30 degrees. Alright, so far so good. Alright, so let's look at this. We have 83 right here, and what does this land on? This is 140, 141, 142, 143. Now, we started on this outside mark, so we need to continue to stay on it. You can't just jump to the middle because that changes everything. So we need to stay on it. So we have 83 and 143. Well, if you do subtraction to figure out how much is in between, you're going to find out that it's 60. Alright, and then you have angle RXS, and you go from 143 to, this is 180. We need to figure out how much is in between here. Alright, how much is that? You do the math. Alright, you should have found out that it's 37 degrees. Alright, so now that we've measured all four of these angles, we need to read our question. It says one pair of complementary angles is. Now, complementary, we know when we see a C, we think C and we think 90. So, we need to figure out which one of these, MXN and XP, does that equal 90? Well, we have M, X, N is how much? 53. N, X, P is 30. If I add 53 and 30, will that give me 90? No, it'll give me how much? You figure that out. Alright, so I know that's not right. So if I add N plus X plus P, that's 30 degrees. And then P, X, and R is 60 degrees. Is that going to give me 90? You sure bet. 30 plus 60 is 90. So that's probably it, but we just need to check all our other answer choices to make sure. M plus X, or MXN is 53 again. And then we have NX and S. Uh-oh, so we have this huge thing right here. Well, this big angle, we have to measure up this angle and this angle and this angle. Well, you know 30 plus 60 is 90. 90 plus 37 is 127. Well, that's way over 90, so that can't be it, just because this number is way over 90. All right? And then you have MXN, which you know is 53, and NXR is 30 plus 60, which is 90. So that already goes over 90 if you add these two together. So that can't be it. So your correct answer is G. Alright, now, I know that seems really confusing, but you just got to take it one step at a time. Break down your protractor, and it's going to make your life so much easier. That should be your first step. Hopefully this makes sense. You're just looking for two angles. Don't forget, complementary angles, you have to have two of them. You need two angles for it to work. That's why you have this, and you add them together, two angles that are added together to give you 90. Alright, now don't forget, you have one more question on your page, and it says one pair of supplementary angles is. Well, if you notice, your answer choices might be the same answer choices that we just worked out here, so you might be able to use the same numbers, but you have to figure out which of these pairs is going to give you supplementary angles. Which two of these makes a supplementary angles? Now don't forget, supplementary, we think what? You think S, and when you think S, you make an 8. And so you know that you're looking for something that equals 180. Find the answer, and then we are going to put it, or you're going to put it in your class survey. Speaking of class survey, scroll down right now, answer the questions, and press submit. It's your responsibility to do it.